Hello there, my name is Dr. Fo, and recently I've been very interested in strange events and experiences in hospital settings in Nigeria. So I decided to go to Nairaland. Nairaland is like the largest Nigerian online community where you can actually go and you see different topics discussed by different persons. So I decided to type crazy things that you've experienced in the hospital in Nigeria. And I was so shocked. The results I got, most of them were very scary, some funny, and then some, honestly, I'm not sure I'll be able to see them here. So I took a screenshot, and so I'm going to be reading them word for word the way it is, and you'll be seeing them on the screen too. So just relax while I read them word for word. And if you have popcorn, you can try some. And don't forget to subscribe if you've not subscribed. Like this video and share with friends and colleagues. So I'm going to be starting with this one right here, and it reads, LOL. I remember years back when I was ill, I went to the hospital. My body was so hot and the doctor recommended I take a cold shower before proceeding with treatment. I guess tepid sponging. A nurse escorted me to the shower as I was taking my bath. The nurse took off her clothes and joined me in the shower. She was kissing me and rubbing my I was so weak, I was just looking at her. Was in my teens, then was in my teens, then really didn't even understand what she was doing then. When she noticed I was not responding to her touches, she then left me alone. And then there's a note here, it said 100% true life story happened to me in teens, as people are already quoting me as liar. Believe it if you like or not. That's one. Strange. Right, this next one is actually funny, but it is what it is. It said, in my undergraduate days, we rushed some students who got involved in an accident to a campus, I think to a campus clinic. On getting there, none of the nurses there could touch them. Apparently, they're afraid of blood. Thank God, one doctor later came to our aid. This one is quite straightforward, nothing sinister here. So yeah, this one is a little bit spooky. He said, so my colleagues and I were on night shifts when a little boy was rushed in. Apparently, the boy had been sick and thrown up for days before the parents and grandma brought him to the hospital. Typical Nigerians. The boy was in critical condition, so the doctor and nurse decided to stabilize him first, then refer him to another hospital. I guess the condition was very bad. Some few minutes later, his grandma ran down to the ground floor to ask us where his grandson was. We told her we hadn't seen him. The woman kept insisting her grandson just descended the staircase and she saw him. My friend told her the boy is upstairs in the children's ward. How on earth can he be downstairs? She went outside to check, still not convinced. She came back inside, looked around and went back up. Some few minutes later, the boy was dead. Oh boy, come see the way fear catches us. It was crazy and scary. And someone said, obviously, it was his ghost she saw. Damn, some mysterious shit. Crazy, right? This is very, very touching and saddening at the same time. It was 2010 in Daura, Katsina State. Went to the general hospital to treat a suspected malaria or typhoid. While waiting on the queue to see the doctor, some family were before me on queue with their sick daughter of about 6 years. Suddenly, the dad, who was carrying the girl on his laps, asked the mom to give him water. He sprinkled some on the sick girl's face and used his palm to wipe it downwards, closing the girl's eyes, then used the girl's wrapper to cover her up. He murmured a word of prayer and quietly stood up, carried the girl on his shoulder and started walking away. The girl was dead. The mom got the message, gave a loud cry, threw herself to the ground and was just rolling back and forth, wailing. Some sympathizers went to help her. I was so shocked. A human just died in my presence. Took me like a minute to regain myself. I just quickly left the place with a little strength left in me. I was simply frozen. Didn't want to see any doctor again. I just felt not sick anymore. It's one memory that somehow keeps coming to my mind anytime I visit the hospital. It's so sad, and patients shouldn't be waiting for long to see a doctor. This one said, we were only 2 patients in the male ward, while there was only 1 woman in the female ward. Just the night that I got admitted, the woman kicked the bucket. The woman died, okay? I was scared all through that night because her corpse was left on the same bed where she gave up the ghost through the night. Man, this is just little stuff we see in Nigeria. This one is very, very funny. He said the patient couldn't pay for her hospital bill after delivery of her baby boy. She was there till her baby was 7 months. Wow, that's a long time. Then her husband impregnated her again. He was a good Nigerian that paid for her hospital bill when her pregnancy was 4 months old. That's just crazy. Funny, but hard truth. And this one, I rarely visit hospital. I always sleep off my sickness. The only time I visited a hospital was when I was in 300 level, that is 3rd year in the university. I was weak. I think it was malaria, and I didn't want to give it chance to weaken me further because I had to wait for exam. So I decided to visit my school clinic. I got to Jaja around 2:30. I don't know what that means. Maybe it's a place. And I was still waiting to be attended to at 6. That's a long time before they eventually attended to me. The sickness had already disappeared. The health system in Nigeria is quite crazy and frustrating. True that. Another funny one. I was just passing by when I heard screams. So out of curiosity, I went to the window where the sound came from. The curtain was there, but wasn't closed properly. I peeped and saw a woman giving birth. Then from nowhere, I received a knock on my head. And this reply is quite savage. Up. Have you not heard the popular proverb that curiosity killed the cat? Hope you've learned your lesson. All right, so this next one is quite tragic, but I just have to read it. The story brings to mind one hospital experience I had in 2012 at one general hospital in Ajegule. Ajegule is in Lagos, and probably this guy's responding to someone else's comment. I had gone for a hernia operation which was successful. As I was convalescing on my bed with a drip attached to my hand, a young man was brought in one night. He was complaining of stomach problems and inability to pass out feces. The following evening, the young man died while the doctor was trying to flush out the excess stuff in his distended stomach. As they were trying to resuscitate him, I saw a shadow figure in my peripheral vision pass beside the window, which had the shape and height of the man who just died. Spooky. I spent 1 week in that ward, and witnessed 4 deaths and 1 traumatic health crisis. Crazy. So for the first time, I saw myself in a hospital after several diagnoses. It's called for a surgery, chest tube surgery. After every preparation and payment, it took off. My disappointment moment was walking to the theater room on my own, all the way from the wardroom as far as afterwards, no means of conveying my weak body back to the wardroom again. So let's take this. For the first time, I saw myself in a hospital. After several diagnoses, it called for a surgery, a chest tube surgery, I guess. After every preparation and payment, it took off. My disappointment moment was walking to the theater room on my own, all the way from the wardroom as far as afterwards, no means of conveying my weak body back to the wardroom again. I waited for over 1 hour before a group of I2 students came with wheelchair. You need to see how I carried my chest tube container and the hose, WT, I don't know what that means. We fell down twice before reaching the wardroom. This is quite disappointing, but still funny. The same wardroom without windows and doors. I slept there more than 2 weeks. A parapneumonic patient for that matter. A federal medical center for that matter. And God, they save us for this country, in this country, on God. That's quite disappointing. So this one reads, while watching Tottenham and Liverpool UEFA final last year, I was eating rice and stockfish while watching the match and mistakenly swallowed the stick used to attach the tail to the head of the fish. Immediately after swallowing it, I knew something was wrong because my throat started feeling funny. The next day, which was Sunday around 10 a.m., which should be 14 hours later, I started coughing up blood, and blood was also bleeding from my nose and mouth simultaneously. I was rushed to a private hospital. You should see how unprofessional the doctor was. He was panicking, shouting that my lung is ruptured and there is nothing to do, and I would definitely bleed out and should leave before I do that. He doesn't want any wahala. Wow, that's actually very, very unprofessional. But I guess he's just trying to play safe. I was then taken to a general hospital nearby. While waiting in the general hospital reception area, the bleeding started subsiding till it stopped, and I was given injection and some drugs. Oh my God. So the next time I see that doctor, one of us will be paying a visit to Baba God. That's very funny. And did you end up coughing up the stick? And which of the doctor are you talking about? The one in the private hospital or the one in general hospital? Very fun. So this one reads, when my dad died, I actually went to get some sort of injection for him outside the hospital because their pharmacy does not have it. Before I got back, it was already gone. Almost I just weak. When we were moving him to the mortuary, heavy breeze was just blowing. All the trees on the walkway were seriously shaking and rain didn't fall. I was I was scared, but I was too sad to show it. I just kept walking. I went back to the hospital to shout at the pharmacist because they didn't have the injection. I also shouted at the doctor that why couldn't him just keep him a little bit longer till I came back with the injection. Some things are very, very hard to explain. So sorry about your loss, bro. One time, a Chinese patient dragged the MO's shirts. MO is medical officer, doctors on duty, general practitioner on duty, and pushed him to the wall, attempting to beat him up because he didn't want to pay for consultation and wanted to bully the doctor to make him attend to him by force. You know, normally when you come to the hospital, you're supposed to pay for a consultation fee and pay to register in the hospital if you're not registered. So apparently this Chinese wanted to actually bypass this procedure or protocol. So this one is very, very funny, and I think this is from Twitter. I got this from Twitter, but it was posted on Nairaland also. The nurse was administering injection to me, and this asthmatic patient started struggling. I guess she was having an attack. So the nurse left the injection in my butt and ran to attend to her. That was the craziest 3 minutes of my life. Very funny. Very, very funny. I guess the hospital didn't have enough staff, health staff, to attend to, emergencies like that. So she had to run and do a triage. The asthmatic patient actually needed more attention, and now that it's tragic, but it's like things we see in and experience in Nigeria almost every day. So this one is actually confusing and quite annoying, and at the same time, I actually don't know what to say. But I read this, I was just, wow, this is unacceptable. The hospital needs to be investigated. I have experienced an owner of a hospital, a pastor, a senior member of one of the notable church in Nigeria, who has already scheduled a 6 p.m. flight to Lagos on the Holy Ghost night. Yet we enter. Okay, let me rephrase. I've experienced a owner of a hospital, a pastor, a senior member of one of the notable church in Nigeria, who has already scheduled a 6 p.m. flight to Lagos on the Holy Ghost night, yet will enter theater in the afternoon, and if he can't complete the surgery, will leave the theater for the program and invite the surgeon, maybe another surgeon, to come and conclude the surgery. God no go forgive some doctors. This is highly, highly unacceptable, and it's against our code of conduct and practice. If this is true, I guess it could be true. It's very, very unacceptable. So we've seen crazy. There are so many of these kind of write-ups. There are so many of these kind of stories, and even worse, and the ones like I can actually read out to you guys. So you can go to Nairaland and type craziest things you've experienced in hospitals, and then you see it. And then there was this challenge on Twitter many years back, I think 2020, by our I'm trying to find out who brought to that challenge. Olufumilayo, popular Nigerian doctor on Twitter. Still the same thing. The experiences in the past in the hospital that are so bad, that are haunting. So you can just go check these things up, and you see how the health system in Nigeria is going, and we actually call on the Nigerian government and our seniors in the health practice to help us help the health sector in Nigeria. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and share this video, and keep watching other videos that we post here. Thank you so much.